Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. My name is, of course, the Battle Room. And today we are joined by all the Pokemon from Regulation MB. So 2 days ago was the official 1 month from Worlds, timeline, right? We're 1 month away. We're less than 1 month away from Worlds. So I figured this is a perfect time because this is when people are going to start grinding. They're going to start trying really, really hard to find their team and try to figure this meta out. So I expect a lot of jumps and bounds and leaps in progress of the metagame. So I figured, hey, let's make a tier list now. Let's talk about what we think is strong so that in these coming weeks we can figure it out together. So I have all the Pokemon from Regulation MB on the screen for us, and we're going to start ranking them in a tier list format. Very simple, but very effective.
You guys gotta help me. I'm currently trapped in F tier with Simi, Sage, and Rampardos. Ew. Please help me by subscribing to the Battle Room on YouTube. It's the only way out of the F tier.
Number 1, Venusaur. I think Venusaur was a Pokemon we were really wrong about. In my last tier list, I put Venusaur in C tier, which in retrospect, holy, I couldn't have been more wrong. This is probably the most wrong I was about a Pokemon with Rog, of course. I think that Venusaur has just proven itself to be incredible, right? We'll start when the format started. Joe UX9 wins a tournament, right? St. Jude Charity Tour, clearly proving Venusaur's good, but you say, hey, Joe's a Sleep Powder merchant. He's very, very good at playing Sleep Powder, and he's good at playing Venusaur. Maybe it's a fluke, right? Then, next tournament, I mean, I wasn't thinking this, but you could, right? Then, next, you have Alex Underhill. He wins the second biggest tournament of all time in the Scraw tournament with Venusaur with Sleep Powder as well. And if that wasn't enough, it also had multiple top placements on the in-game champions ladder with a Life Orb set. That was a set I could have never predicted when we made the tier list, but at the same time, it makes a ton of sense. It countered the meta in such a perfect way. And yeah, I think Venusaur clearly has shown to us that it is a very, very strong and important pick in the metagame. I think the lack of anti-sleep mechanics is just hard, right? Like, Sleep Powder is just really strong. There's no safety goggles. There's not many grass types. And the thing about Venusaur is it gets to kind of cheat, right? Because the only thing that stops Sleep Powder is grass types. But who's Venusaur's best friend? Oh, you're going to call from Charizard? Yeah, that's his best friend, right? The guy who obliterates grass types. So it's just almost impossible to have a Mon that's good into Venusaur that isn't weak to Charizard. We don't have access to safety goggles. Your only way out of this one is the Lumberry. And let's be real, we're not running Lumberry, right? It just is kind of a shitty item. There's not a ton of status in the game right now. I mean, I think on the right team, I think we could see some Lumberry tech depending on how this world cycle prep goes, how big these teams get, right? Like, I could totally see in a world where Lumberry, like Garchomp, is very strong or something going into the tournament. But right now, Lumberry, not for me, dude. Not for me. But Venusaur is just an incredible Pokemon, puts on a ton of pressure with Sleep Powder, and it pairs with the best guy in the game. So I think Venusaur's in a really, really strong spot, and I don't expect it to stop. I expect to see Venusaur do well at Worlds. Then we have Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur is kind of interesting because it's kind of very different. It's less flexible, and like this Pokemon, you just have Charizard there, and you're like, hey, he can be on the team, right? It doesn't matter what the other guys are. He can be there. He provides sleep, right? But Mega Venusaur, it requires really, really precise building. Oftentimes you see it on Rain or paired with Grimmsnarl, but it does have some positives. It's very, very good into stuff like Big Six, into Rain, Archaludon, Rain Swampert, right? Those type of teams hate Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur is just very strong into them. So I think Mega Venusaur has a spot in the metagame, but it's very niche, very hard to pull off, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did win a tournament or do well at Worlds because, like, it is positioned in a good spot, but sometimes it just doesn't do enough. That's my problem with it. Regular Charizard is booty, dude. Get him out of here. Mega Charizard X is bad as well. I think the problem with Mega Charizard X is that it's not Mega Charizard Y, right? I think also there's like an underlying problem. I'm going to say this now at the beginning of the video. I'm going to reference it a ton throughout, but one of the big issues with this meta is that there's just not a lot of good special attackers that aren't Mega Pokemon, right? Like, when you think of the special attackers that are good, you think of like Sylveon, Whimsicott, Sinestcha, right? Like maybe Archaludon. There just aren't a lot of good special attackers, but obviously the Megas are really, really good special attackers. So in Pokemon, obviously a physical and special split is very important on any team. And I think when you're building around a Mega that is special attacking focused, it just makes team building easier. And you'll see a lot of the good teams are just built around those guys because it's way better that way, right? You're not weak to Intimidate. Will-O-Wisp, Reflect, all those things can kind of get in your way, and you're going to be overloaded on physical attackers anyways. So sacrificing your Mega as one is very rare. There's a couple ones. There's a couple physical Megas that are good. We're obviously going to talk about those, but I do think for the most part, special is way easier, and that's why Mega Charizard Y is one of the best Pokemon in the game. Like, to put it simply, if we just look at his stats and like what he's able to do, right? Because most of the Mega Charizards in this format specifically, really hasn't happened before. Usually they tried to capitalize on his speed in past formats where Mega Charizard was allowed. But in this format, that's not the case, dude. He is all about the bulk. So we have max HP, right? Very simple. I'm not going to say it's always max defense, but there's a lot of defense investment. So we're trying to make up for his weakest stat. So we're investing it in HP, defense, and that's it, right? And then if you look at his base stats and how he is as a Pokemon, he has HP, decent HP, enough. Horrible defense, but again, we're investing all of our stats into the defense that make him even stronger. So now he's got a good defense, like good enough defense stat. He's got an amazing special attack stat, and he has really, really high special defense and good speed. So when you train him this way, he just kind of turns into like, he has no flaws. His only flaw is really like being weak to rock. And that's why you're going to see some of the other Pokemon that are good like to spam rock moves, but he really only has one fatal flaw. Electric types just aren't in the format. Rotom is like the only guy, so he just has one weakness, and then again, water weakness. Who cares, dude? He turns on the rain, he turns on the sun, so the water weakness can be annoying if you don't have weather control, but if you have weather control in the perfect conditions, he's absurd. He does a ton of damage as well because the sun is boosting his attacks. Again, he has one weakness, and that's rock, so he has just become like the best Pokemon in the entire game. His matchup into all the Megas is pretty sizably good, right? Like, it's pretty good. He can trade well with all of them with the nuclear damage of Weather Ball. We're even seeing some like creativity with Charizard as well. We saw a Rain Charizard team. He's the best Mega on a Rain team. That's disgusting. So I think Charizard is just in a really, really good spot, and I don't know when his kingdom will end. I think we need something else. We need electric types. We need something, right? So yeah, he's the best guy. Regular Blastoise sucks. Blastoise Mega is really interesting because I would say, like, before I would say, oh, he's kind of bad, right? Like, I'm not really messing with Blastoise Mega. I think he's kind of mid. But we've seen him perform really, really well. We see a very popular Delphox Blastoise team that's just kind of protect the queen. You just fake out, enable Blastoise. And he has just become one of the best Megas. Not one of the best, but, like, he's up there, right? He's in the conversation of doing well, right? He's very one-dimensional. It's about setting up that Shell Smash, spamming Water Spout, but then with his ability Mega Launcher paired with Dark Pulse, having that Dark Pulse coverage is the secret that just lets him be OP. He matches up well into those common popular Pokemon such as Basculegion, and I think having the Dark type coverage is just useful. There's a lot of, like, I think of Delphox, I think of Farigiraf. There's a lot of Pokemon that he can just hit with that move when his Water Spout is weak, but he's also best friends with Sinistcha, so the Water Spout just keeps flowing. I think he's definitely probably an A-tier Mega. I think he's good. He's a good Pokemon, and that team is kind of showcasing that. But I do think as time goes on, the team has just been doing slightly worse and worse, which does kind of make me think he could go lower. But I do think he's an A or B tier Mega. I think he's really strong. And on my last list, I don't even see him, dude. Where did we put this guy? I think we said he was just bad. I don't even see him on the list, dude. There he is. We said he was C tier, which I think we're super wrong about. I don't think he's a C tier Mega at all. Next up is Beedrill. Beedrill sucks. Mega Beedrill, admittedly, is very funny. I think, like, when you have a Mega form, you're instantly, like, kind of viable, right? Like, I'm gonna put them all together where it's like, hey, you could use them on a team. We did see a Rain team succeed with Beedrill, but overall, I don't think Mega Beedrill is all that strong of a Pokemon, but it had a cool niche. I'm not gonna lie, it was a cool team. I had fun using that one, but I think all these Megas are, like, they're kind of usable, right? Like, I don't think Beedrill's unusable, but yeah. I mean, there are some Megas that are, but Pidgeot's bad, terrible. Mega Pidgeot, again, joins these kinds of these Megas. Like, I think Mega Pidgeot, I've played against it one time, and I'll never forget how hard he smacked me, right? It was going nuts, setting up Tailwinds paired with Rotom. It was so stupid, but at the same time, it has a high base speed. It has Tailwind. I think if you wanted to work really, really hard, you could make a decent Pidgeot team to climb into Champions tier or something, right? I think he's good. Arbok is terrible, right? Arbok, he's not the guy. Pikachu is not the guy either. I think regular Raichu is a little bit better because of the Raichu partners, but regular Raichu is still pretty bad. You're better off just putting the item on it, right? Like Sash Raichu, let's be real. Let's not use that. The Raichus are really interesting to me because I think that we've had a lot more time to play with them and understand them. I've made, I think I've made 2 videos each on both of them. And yeah, they're interesting. They're very interesting Pokemon. So let's start with We'll start with X since he comes first. I think Raichu X he's kind of C tier. I think his strength is very similar to Venusaur's, but there was a very cool Raichu X team that we did feature on the channel as well, but that was built around soundproof Como paired with this Raichu, just allowed it to completely wall out Charizard Venusaur. And I have Charizard Venusaur right now in S and A tier, right? They're very good Pokemon. So pairing this Raichu with the Como was very interesting and very neat. And I think right now in the meta with how good Sleep Powder can be, having this electric terrain user that can just stop the Sleep Powder and potentially, like I mentioned earlier, that there's not many counters to Sleep Powder, but Raichu X does have one of the best ones, which is electric terrain. So I think he's interesting. I don't want to put him lower than C, but I don't think he's much better than C. I think he's perfectly right there where it's like he has some use, he has some cool things he can do, but he's very difficult to build around and you do need to find the right partners. But I think that Como team was in the right spot. Raichu Y I think is an A tier pick. I think Raichu Y is better than Blastoise. I think Raichu Y is really, really good. We've seen a lot of teams, there's a lot of enabling that Raichu Y can do, right? He's such a good utility supportive Mega. I'm such a fan of him, right? So he's got Fake Out. Beautiful, awesome move, right? You can help set up stuff like King Gambit, right? What's really cool is that he does function as like a damage dealer, right? He can one-shot Charizard, but at the same time, he can also Fake Out and enable a Swords Dance King Gambit, right? One of the most popular Raichu teams going around right now is the Swords Dance King Gambit team. It has Raichu, Swords Dance King Gambit, then it has like Sylveon and Rock Arcanine. So it's able to abuse the fact that Raichu can also, with its 100% accurate Zap Cannons, slow you down and then hit you with a Zap Cannon, slow down your guy, and then now King Gambit can hit you with a +2 Kowtow Cleave, right? Or sometimes you don't even have to. It's just really good single target damage. Zap Cannon followed up by Hyper Voice from Sylveon. Zap Cannon followed up by a Flare Blitz from Arcanine, right? It's just such a good combo and it just gives your entire team a new ceiling of speed, because of how cool Zap Cannon is. Focus Blast is also really, really good coverage for the guy. Being able to hit those big threats like Arcaludon. What else? King Gambit, right? I think he's just well positioned right now. I think he's got a lot of good util. He's just very annoying. He's an annoying guy, but it makes him a very good guy. So I think Raichu Y, very good mon right now. Alolan Raichu's bad. His best partner is unfortunately himself. Mega, or I guess regular Clefable. There's no Clefairy. My heart. I miss you, Clefairy. Clefable is, I don't think it's really worth using. It's a follow me. I want to put it in D because it has some sort of use, but not really. I don't think it really does. There's not like, there is a lot of setup like with Blastoise and stuff, but I don't know. They're usually paired with like Sneasler. They're paired with other things, and I think the Clefairy is not, or Clefable is not fast enough to deal with them with its unaware ability. Mega Clefable, I will say, is probably F. I really haven't seen this thing do anything. I don't even think, I mean, I'll put it with the other Megas, but I think it's bad. Alolan Ninetales, we did see a little bit of it with Pyroar. Pyroar was at the beginning of the meta very interesting, very solid, but now as time has went on, I think Pyroar has just kind of disappeared. I don't think he's super strong. So I'm going to say this guy is probably in D. Being able to change the weather is valuable, and it is a faster version of Sun. So I think if you don't want to commit your Mega, right, it's like kind of like if you want to put it with Pyroar or put it with Houndoom or something. But I don't know. I don't think it's super worth it. Alolan Ninetales. This one's tricky. I think it could be B or A. I think it's very strong right now. I'm a big Alolan Ninetales fan. It's good into a lot of the big threats. Obviously, it's not good into Charizard, but still being able to change the weather sometimes is very important, right? Just being able to shut it off so you can pick it off with something like your Blastoise or whatever. Obviously, you're not running Blastoise, but I think being able to just shut off the weather can be valuable. It's also just the premier check to Garchomp. So that alone makes it worth it. Also with the rise of Rain, Swampert, Pelipper, having Freeze Dry is very good right now. So I think it just does a lot. It's not great versus Sun, but it's useful versus Sun. It's good versus Rain, good versus Garchomp. It just kind of bundles up a lot of like smaller, more rogue things while also being good into Garchomp into one nice little bundle, right? Like being able to beat Rain is awesome, and having that matchup is sick. We're starting to see it pop up more and more. I think it's probably an A tier Pokemon. I think the weather setters just have more intrinsic value. Like I would say this guy sucks, but because it sets up the weather, I could see a team maybe finding a way to abuse it, right? So I think weather just has a lot of stake right now, and it's very, very premium to have any sort of weather setter. Vileplume is actually kind of decent. I think Vileplume's like a C tier Pokemon. It kind of fits with the vibe we got going on here. It's just kind of annoying and very stupid to deal with. It has Sleep Powder, it has After You, and that's enough to make it viable, especially with its best friend Torkoal. I think it can kind of bridge these Trick Room teams together. I don't think it's going to be making a huge splash at Worlds, but you never know. This guy genuinely sucks. This Pokemon is Arcanine, by the way. Arcanine regular, Cantonian Arcanine. He is so terrible. If you want to use him, you should use the rock version, or you should use Incineroar. Unfortunately, like, he is just outclassed by the two other pets. So the dog and the cat. Harkonine is very cool right now. I think he's a B tier Pokemon. I really enjoyed him in the last regulation. And I feel like he's doing better. We saw, again, I mentioned the Raichu team earlier, but Raichu Harkonine was popping off a little bit. Maybe he's C. I think he's a little niche. I think he's a little niche to say that he's not. I don't think he's a B tier pick. I'm conflicted. Maybe this guy is B. We'll go as we go. I'm going to say, like, anything below D is not going to be ordered, but C and above will be ordered. But I think he is pretty good. I think he provides a lot of damage, dude. And being able to put pressure onto Charizard just makes him like a viable Pokemon, right? There's some Pokemon that's like, hey, I can kill Charizard for you, and you're like, okay, you're on the team, right? Like, hell yeah, dude. He outspeeds most of them. He can press Head Smash and just obliterate them. So I think he's a cool pick. I think he's a decently strong Pokemon right now. I like Harkonine. I do. I think he's pretty good. I'm leaning more towards B, but I'm going to put him in C for now. The Sash Rockhead set is just so goated. Alakazam sucks. I'm not even gonna say Mega Alakazam has a shot either, dude. I'm gonna put him in F. I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. That's our first Mega that's garbage. Machamp is, dude, I forgot he was in the game. Not gonna lie to you. Victory Bell's terrible. So is Mega Victory Bell. They're just not super good. Victory Bell got outclassed kind of by Vileplume, and like the Victory Bell Mega is kind of gimmicky and silly, but not a really big fan. Slowbro, he gets Trick Room. He has some use. I think he's probably like a D tier mon, right? Like, we've seen him a little bit, but I think like Mega Slowbro as well is gimmicky, not very good. You kind of just want to make him unkillable, but it's like, dude, what is he doing back? Body pressing? I think him, you know what? I think Slowking's probably better. I'm going to say Slowbro's bad, actually. You shouldn't use Slowbro. Slowking is the one I'm thinking of. Regular Gengar is kind of cheesy and gimmicky and closed sheet. I think he's actually pretty decent in that way, but this is just going to be for, I guess, you know, he's D. He's funny, dude. He's got Icy Wind. He can be very annoying. You think he's a Mega Gengar and he isn't, and it just catches you off guard. So I'll put him there. Mega Gengar is weird, dude. I think Mega Gengar is bad. I think Mega Gengar is not good. There's like one team I can think of right now. Like, obviously Parrish, they're all trying to make Parrish work, but I'm not a huge Parrish fan as it is. I just don't think it's like super powerful right now. And so Mega Gengar, unfortunately, I don't think he's that great. There is the team that Edu's using, a former world champion with Swampert and Gengar, that I think is pretty good. That's probably the best Mega Gengar team. But I don't know. I think Parrish is really difficult to pull off. I think King Gambit being very good. Basculin Legion, Golden goes on the rise. There's a lot of Pokemon that are just really annoying for Parrish Trap. But then Mega Gengar himself, there's just not a lot of good partners. He's a little bit too frail. He doesn't trade well enough into stuff like Charizard or even like Staraptor, right? I mean, like, you can Parrish them pretty effectively, but it's just kind of annoying. So I just kind of think he's pigeonholed into Parrish, and Parrish is just kind of meh. You know, I think that's kind of his issue. He's still a good Pokemon. Not being able to switch is absurd. And someone might cook up a truly insane team at Worlds that just cooks with Mega Gengar. But as of right now, not very good. I think that this guy is really good in Trick Room, right? Like, being able to set up Trick Room with Kangaskhan is kind of like its big thing. But then Mega Kangaskhan is also kind of in the same boat. They kind of do the same thing. I don't think they're like horrible though. Like, they're probably up here. Feels bad to put Gengar and Harkonine in the same tier as them, but that's kind of, no, Gengar is not. Gengar is totally a C tier mon. I feel like he's as good as Mega Venusaur. I really do. I'll put the Kangaskhan's together. I think they're just really good at setting up Trick Room. On hard Trick Room teams, they shine, and that's kind of it, right? They like to set up Trick Room, they like to press Fake Out, and then the other one uses Last Resort, and then the Mega just has more coverage, but that's kind of all they're good for. I think they're still pretty solid though. Like, they're good at setting up Trick Room, don't get me wrong. Scrappy's awesome. Starmie sucks. Mega Starmie also sucks. I'm sorry guys, they're not great. Mega Pinsir sucks. Pinsir sucks, and Mega Pinsir sucks. So the thing with Tauros is that he's terrible. The other combat breed Tauros is terrible, but then the Blaze breed and the Water breed, they're just not seeing any use whatsoever. Like, I just think they're kind of F tier, and I love them both. I think they're such a cool addition to the game. It's how an Intimidate Pokemon should be. They're very, very, like, they have a great ability. They're very potent, but they just don't have enough sauce, unfortunately. So I think that, like, Incin is just kind of better when it comes to Intimidate, and even stuff like Staraptor is now providing Intimidate. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't think you're very good. Gyarados, it hurts. I don't think he's F, but he's certainly not good. Gyarados is just like, he's kind of with his other Kanto brothers, where like they have something they can do. He has Intimidate, he has a little bit of speed control, but that's about where it ends. I think Mega Gyarados is kind of neat. Like, Mega Gyarados does have some potential. It can match up into some cool things, right? We see it cut every once in a while. It always kind of sneaks in there, right? It's kind of good in a Charizard. It can put that pressure on. It can set up those Dragon Dances. Its Mega Evolution type change is very cool as well. Turning into a Dark type can make it wall certain King Gambits and wall Basculegion. So I think, like, the Mega, it's like, dude, I'm gonna put it in C because I think it's like bottom of C because, like, dude, it could cut because someone's gonna use it really, really well. Ditto sucks, I think. I think Ditto, the way Ditto works is Ditto needs, like, really, really high-powered, strong Pokemon, right? And, like, it can take a Mega, but you have to wait for them to Mega Evolve. It just seems very tricky to get a good Ditto game in. But I think he's cool, but I'm going to put him in F right now. I don't think we're going to see Ditto do well. Vaporeon, okay, on Perish, Vaporeon was looking nice with it. It was looking really nice with it, but I think it's probably an F tier. Well, I'm going to say it's D, because on that one Perish song team, where it was, like, flip turning and yawning, it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Jolteon sucks. I'm sorry. Flareon sucks. I'm not sorry. Aerodactyl. Oh my god, dude. So, we said Aerodactyl was B last time. I think Aerodactyl's C. I think he's fallen more and more. It's hard to say where Mega Aerodactyl goes, but I think Aerodactyl is comfy C, right? There's still some teams that can use him. He's still not completely worthless, but it just kind of sucks, right? Like, having to deal with Whimsicott sucks when they encore you. Also, with, like, there's, like, just a couple more Pokemon that got added that are annoying. He was also just annoyed by the other Pokemon. I think he is more just, like, as the meta has shifted, he's gotten worse and worse. Like, he started out literally on the top, right? He was, like, #1. He was actually, like, probably an S tier Pokemon for the first couple weeks of this game. But then as time went on, he just fell further and further. He won NAIC barely. He made it through, but then, like, now I think it's like, hey, dude, like, Whimsicott, he's really, really good. Staraptor's annoying for you. I'm trying to think what other big threats really have pushed him out of the metagame. Basculegion, of course, is still a Pokemon that he has to be worried about. But yeah, I don't know. He's just, like, as time has went on, it's just felt worse and worse. And I just don't see myself wanting to use Aerodactyl anymore. I think I'm going to put him with his brother right now. I'm going to say they're top of C. I still think they're pretty decent. Like, they're good into Charizard, and that alone is going to make you viable. But the meta is just so hostile. Oh, the introduction of Venusaur is really bad for him, too. Venusaur getting more and more usage, super bad for our boy Arrow. Because he gets sleep powdered or he gets one shot by helping hand Solar Beam. So I just don't know. He still is good, though. He literally won a tournament. He won a Victory Road tournament on Marco's, like, Trick Room Sun team. So I don't know. I think he's decent, but I think he's probably C. I think he's finally fallen. I think Snorlax sucks. He's kind of funny on Perish or, like, trapping teams. He can, like, yawn trap. Very similar to Vaporeon. Regular Dragonite. He's been getting better and better. Man, I just have no Pokemon in B. It's actually crazy, but I think there's, like, I don't know what I'm going to put there at the moment. But I don't know if these guys deserve to be in B. I don't think they do, man. That's my problem. I would say, if anything, the Aerodactyls do. Dragonite is kind of a C tier pick right now. I think regular Dragonite is not bad. He has a very cool niche specifically into Sun. So I think regular Dragonite is okay. He's good into the Sun guys. He has access to multi-scale, has access to inner focus. He's got a lot of good things going for him, but I don't think he's super, super strong. But I think he has a niche, and that niche is a good niche, beating Sun. Mega Dragonite is also just, like, He's nosediving, dude. He's Gengar Venusaur tier, where they're megas that you can use, but they like kind of require a lot of work, and it just doesn't seem worth it in the current format. I don't know. I think regular Dragonite is better because it doesn't take up your mega slot, and I also think as time has went on, like adding stuff like Staraptor, adding stuff like Raichu, Mega Dragonite just kind of feels meh. But at the same time, I feel like he could be kind of good, like into Staraptor if you ran him on a rain team with Hurricane, but people just aren't doing that. So I also don't think it's like super, super good. I think he's good in a Charizard. Like, I don't want to put him any lower because I think he's like a solid Mon. He ends up just right next to Dragonite, but I think that he is pretty okay still. I think this one's a little better and has a little bit more upside right now. All right, this is Johto time. So Meganium, unfortunately, is garbage, but Mega Meganium is really cool. Like, I wish this Pokemon was good. I really think that the ability is so cool. The Always Sun Weather Ball's fire. The Solar Beams are so strong. The Fairy coverage, but unfortunately, it just doesn't have enough juice in it. I think that in like a world where only the Meganium player got Tailwind, I think it could be good, but when the other guys are also matching Tailwind, it's just not fast enough or strong enough to justify using. I think it's so cool, man. I love Meganium. I think it's so fun. This guy, Typhlosion, terrible, man. Terrible Mon. I think Asui and Typhlosion, I don't know what it is about him that he can't like hang, right? Because he was very good in Regulation H. Now, obviously, this isn't Regulation H. There's no Terra. There's a lot of different Pokemon, but a lot of the threats that were good in Regulation H, such as Basculegion, such as King Gambit, were still prevalent there. I think maybe he just needs like specs or something. I really think maybe that's it, or maybe he is kind of a Terra merchant, right? Like getting that extra Terra Fire boost on your eruptions might have been what he's missing, and without Terra, he's just kind of a fraud. I think he's still like a D tier Mon though. I think he's like okay. Like I have played against him and lost. He's not terrible, but he's not super great either, and I think he requires a lot of work right now. Feraligatr sucks. I think Mega Feraligatr is actually just F tier. I just really haven't seen this thing do anything. Maybe there's a set I'm missing or something that is holding him back when I use him, but I just think he's not very good. Ariados, unfortunately, it had its moment in the sun, and now it's kind of back to being bad. Sneaser's usage continues to plummet, so I think that he unfortunately gets worse. Ampharos is terrible. Mega Ampharos does actually kind of fulfill a Trick Room, like, goal, I guess, or like slot. I think Ampharos is like as good as Mega Clefable. It's probably better than Mega Clefable, let's be real. I think Trick Room Mega Ampharos is cool. Its typing is strong, but it's just kind of a one-trick pony, and I just don't think that pony is very good. Azumarill, I love Azumarill, but I think Azumarill is like F tier. I actually don't think it's very good. I have lost to it. When it gets out of control with the drum, it's kind of funny, but I do think it's a little bit harder to pull off, and it's just not really worth it because it is so slow. Politoed is neat. I think Politoed is like definitely a C tier Pokemon. I honestly just put it next to Gengar. I think that Politoed relies a lot on Perish Trap, and that is kind of the best way to use Politoed, unfortunately. But I think it's really good at being on a Perish team. I really like Edu's team with Mega Gengar and Swampert, so you have those dueling modes. I think Politoed is still a cool Pokemon, but it is very one-dimensional in the teams that it functions on, and that's Perish plus Swampert Rain, right? That's just what it is. Espeon and Umbreon are unfortunately garbage. Slowking, I'm gonna put in D, dude. I believe that he is not absolutely worthless, just mostly worthless. I think Snowscape is a very cool move, and it can set up Trick Room, two things that nothing else can do together. But also Trick Room is just like kind of good sometimes. Like the teams are so fast paced that sometimes if you do set it up, it's worth it. But I just don't think he's like worth the time to invest in trying to make him work. Same with this guy. I think they're about the same level. Obviously, it has different typing. Regular Steelix is ass. Mega Steelix. We saw Wolf pull off the Mega Steelix idea to great success, but I just don't know if you can replicate it. Like, there's very few times where I say like, oh, dude, you're not him. But like, when it comes to Mega Steelix, dude, you're not Wolf, man. Like, I'm sorry. This is like the one Pokemon that I'll say like, that was a crazy tournament, and I think he caught the meta in such a flawless spot that was so vulnerable to Steelix and Tyranitar. Just like kind of a very special tournament that Steelix was able to pop off on. So I'm gonna put it in D tier, but it is kind of just like, it's not worth. Like, dude, it's not worth. Quillfish, terrible. Fortress, terrible. Scizor,
he's gotten worse and worse. I think the longer Tyranitar's reign of terror continues, the less I believe in Scizor. I really think he's just starting to falter more and more. That, like, I think he's borderline F. Just because I'm gonna put him in F because I don't know. I think he's usable. I'm gonna put him in D. I'm gonna put him in D. But like, I think that he is just, it's just so hard. I think he's got a niche though. He can kill those fairy types. Like, he's absurdly strong into them. But now, in my opinion, if you're going to use a steel type Mega, Metagross kind of mogs him. So I think that he unfortunately even lost his job that way. I'm going to actually put him down here, man. I actually think Metagross is just a better version. He can't be intimidated. He has less weaknesses. He's faster. I think you just shouldn't use him. Heracross is terrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So is Mega. Skarmory, man. I love Skarmory in Regulation MA. I really was trying to bring him to a regional. I thought he was really strong, but he's a little bit too inconsistent. I think he's really fun, but Skarmory, not it. Okay, I gotta say, my opinion on Houndoom has changed vastly. I think Houndoom is a D tier mon. The ability to contest Charizard, it just makes you viable, in my opinion. And I've played games with Houndoom, and having access to Flash Fire and a Focus Sash, he just kind of turns into a Charizard answer, surprisingly enough. I don't think he's worth using. I think that there's like a lot of very, like, he's not great, but I do think he's really good at that. And I was really blown away with how good he was at beating Charizard teams. So I have to put respect on the dog's name. He's D tier. He's a D tier mon, but he's a damn good D tier. He's a good boy. Tyranitar. Tyranitar's really interesting right now. I think Tyranitar is a B tier mon. I'm gonna bring both of them up there. I think Tyranitar is really good. Mega Tyranitar has shown more and more strength, right? That Staraptor Golden Go team that has just kind of blew up on the ladder. Tyranitars look very, very impressive. I spent a lot of time with it myself, and I think Tyranitar's a good Pokemon. Very good into Charizard, who's like the best guy in the game. So that alone gives him credit, but I also think he's good in terrain. Having this dominant weather control with the Mega Evolution button on Tyranitar feels incredible. And I think that like Scarf Tyranitar is like pretty solid, and like I think that there's some, he's kind of in this area, right? Where he's like kind of okay. Like even in open sheet, Scarf is like pretty okay. So I think that the Scarf Tyranitar set is worth using. And I think it's like a C tier level mon. But I think Mega Tyranitar's B, he's looking really strong right now. He's actually top of B. I think Mega Tyranitar is very good. I'm a big fan of Tyranitar. He's just good. Sceptile, I'm sorry, man. You're kind of cool, though. You have a gimmick. I'll put you with the other guys. Mega Sceptile has that gimmick of Lightning Rod. He's kind of fun. Okay, Blaziken's interesting because both Blazikens are worth talking about. I think regular Blaziken is like a C tier mon. I really do. I think he's like around the Vileplume range. I think regular Blaziken is neat because it can, like, Life Orb Rockslide can do a lot of damage. It still gets access to Speed Boost. It doesn't commit your Mega Slot. I think it's okay. I think regular Blaziken is okay. I think there's some coaching stuff you can do. We haven't seen a lot of it, though. You know, no, he's still C. He's bottom of C, though. I think regular Blaziken's okay, but I think Mega Blaziken is pretty good. I think it's much more near the top, right? He is kind of a Charizard killer. He can get really, really fast with Speed Boost. He's just kind of a glass cannon, and I would say he's very finicky, right? Like, it's very read heavy. It's about getting the turns right. It can be a little tricky. I won't lie to you. It can be really tricky to play him, but if you get the turns right and you're getting those reads on your opponents, he is suffocating. He is lethal. He is faster than everything. He does so much damage. He does a lot of damage to himself too, but he does put a lot of pressure on you. I think pairing him with one of the best Pokemon in the game, King Gambit, feels very good. So I think Mega Blaziken is C. Like, honestly, I think you could argue he might be B. In my last tier list, I did say I said he was D tier, Mega Blaziken. I don't agree with that now. I think he's proven himself to be, I've said this before in another video, I think Blaziken will top cut Worlds. I think there's going to be one mad lad out there who's playing like a psychopath and just kicking ass with Blaziken. So I think there will be one in cut. I stand by that. I don't know who it will be or what their team will look like, but I know he's going to be there. I'm so confident. I'm going to put him in B tier. I'm going to say he's bottom of B. I think B for Blaziken. Swampert. So regular Swampert's ass, don't use that guy. Mega Swampert is really interesting as well. Prior, I had him in A tier. That was when we just started playing the format, and Mega Swampert looked very, very good. But right now, Mega Swampert
It looks solid. I think the Mega Swampert teams are dying off a little bit. I keep referencing this Mega Gengar Parish song team that has Mega Swampert on it, but I think that he's a good B tier pick. I think that he's strong, and in the right hands he can go nuts. It's just that a lot of the Swampert teams right now are pretty one-dimensional. You see Grimmsnarl, you see Pelly, you see Arch. Pick the last two, whatever you want it to be, right? Obviously on the Parish Edu version, they have Politoed instead of Pelipper, but same principle applies. I think he's good. I think he hits like a nuke. He's very scary. His ground typing is pretty good. Like water ground offensively is a nightmare, especially with Ice Punch. I think he's got a good kit, but he's extremely one-dimensional. Like if you see Swampert, there's no, I mean, like he could run Rock Slide, he could run Knockoff, he has a little bit of coverage, but for the most part it's water move, ground move, filler, protect, and that's just what he does. But he does a damn good job. I think he can be very scary. I'm curious to see. I don't think there's much more that we need to explore about Swampert. It's just going to be like, what other megas could you put with him, or what kind of like, because I think that's what makes the Mega Gengar Swampert team so scary, is both modes are drastically different in how you approach them. So I think that is the benefit of Swampert, is that when you're staring across a Swampert team, you're like, man, how do I stop him, right? Especially if the second Mega, the mix-up is deadly. Funny enough, Pelipper. I think Pelipper's really good. I think Pelipper is a solid B tier Mon. Like I think Pelipper is solid. It's gotten better and better. Like last time, I believe I put Pelipper in B last time, and I don't think I'm changing my mind too much. I think he's strong. I think he's good. I think his ability is good. Like obviously Drizzle's great. We saw Pelipper pair well with Charizard as well, which is kind of crazy. That just added a whole new team to the lexicon of teams that we're currently dealing with. And I think that team is still good. It's falling off a little bit. But I don't want to say that team is like crazy broken. And I think that Pelipper, while strong, is kind of like on those rain teams, but the rain teams aren't going away. I think the rain teams are like about B tier right now. I think there's stuff that's just shining a little bit more than them currently, but I think Pelipper just kind of fits there really well. Gardevoir. Regular guard is terrible. Don't use it. Mega guard. How are we feeling? S tier? I think Gardevoir is actually kind of C. It's definitely C. It's kind of in this like group of megas where they're like, hey, they can work in the right circumstance. That circumstance is a little bit hard to pull off sometimes, right? Last time I had Gardevoir in C tier as well. I don't think that really changes. I think it's still a good Pokemon. I think it's still great. It's just that it's not easy to build. Like Vovomax Ben 10 popped off with that in that tournament, but we just haven't really seen it since. But I still believe a little bit. Sableye is like D. I think Sableye is unfortunately worse than Grimmsnarl, so he's just unfortunately kind of hanging out with these like weird budget supports that if you want to make them work, you can. On certain teams they can shine, but he's not as good as Grimm. I personally prefer Grimmsnarl. Mega Sableye is actually terrible. I don't know what that thing can do besides the minimize stuff. Mawile is terrible. Mega Mawile, I think, is probably C. It's kind of like the Kangaskhan range. I think Mega Mawile has potential, and I think it's good, and we've seen some people use it to great success. But for the most part, it's just not really shining. It's not winning tournaments, so I am a little bit skeptical. I do love Mawile, but I think that having to deal with Charizard sucks, and then just being that one-dimensional Trick Room sweeper that you are kind of sucks. There is some sets, though. I've seen some Swords Dance paired with, like, Sinistcha in Sin, right? Like, Fake Out Swords Dance is pretty good. It's as strong as a Black Glasses King Gambit Sucker Punch, so it's scary. But we just haven't seen those teams really pop off, and I don't know if they will. I think that unfortunately, like the answers to Mawile are on everyone's team because they're trying to answer King Gambit, they're trying to answer Metagross or whatever, right? And Charizard being the best guy just sucks because if it has speed control or redirection, Mawile can't do anything. So I think it's good though. I think it's like a solid Mon. It's just like it is kind of just like in the weird spot. It's definitely better. It's actually probably up here actually. Vileplume, these are like the kind of megas, and then these are like, wow, these are looking pretty good. And then Vileplume's the divider right now. But yeah, I stand by Mawile being there. Aggron sucks. He's cool though. He gets Iron Defense Body Press, so he's D tier. He's just not very good. I don't think he can hang with the meta. Charizard being the best guy just sucks, right? Like that part is just, it's brutal for him. Medicham sucks. Mega Medicham is kind of in this range where like we've seen it like set up trick rooms before, but that's kind of just where he is. He's kind of like Aggron tier, like on the right silly team in the closed team sheet, you can go nuts with him, but I don't think he's gonna have a great showing at Worlds. This guy, dude, Manectric is not great, but Mega Manectric's crazy. It's just wild to me how bad he's been, because we just haven't seen him. Like, we haven't even seen him, like, at all. I rarely see him. He was on a couple rain teams early on, but he just hasn't made a splash. Even though you would think he's, like, pretty positive into Charizard, he can Volt Switch around, but I think it's just like the rain teams would have to also run Tailwind. He doesn't do a lot into Whimsicott. Also, Intimidate is a liability when you're fighting against stuff like King Gambit. So I think, unfortunately, he's just not... He's not it right now. He's just kind of awkward in the meta. Sharpedos suck. I think regular Sharpedo is actually better. I'm not going to say he's even D tier, but regular Sharpedo is better than Mega Sharpedo, in my opinion, because you don't have to use a Mega Stone. Canerupt is garbage, but Mega Canerupt is definitely like the same level as I would say he's about as good as the Kangaskhan's. He's a Trick Room Mega. He's annoying. Recently they found out that Ancient Power is really good on him, so you run like Earth Power, Heat Wave, Ancient Power. You don't really need Eruption. You'd rather just be able to kill stuff like Charizard. And I think playing against this guy in Trick Room is difficult. But the thing is that if you ever just set up like... If you ever overload him, right? Like if you have Charizard and Garchomp next to him or something, or you have Charizard and King Gambit, he can't kill both at the same time. And that usually allows you to stall Trick Room turns or create an opening. And I think overwhelming him like that by giving him 2 things to kill really just frazzles him up. And I think that it makes him much easier to play against. He doesn't have enough spread moves. I think that's it. Like, it's just like, and like he doesn't set up Sun, right? Like if he set up Sun, then he could do his own eruptions, but he can't do that. So you don't want to run Torkoal plus him. You don't want to run Ninetales plus him either. So he just kind of like just barely doesn't do enough damage. He's so close, but he doesn't do enough. So he's easy to overload. Torkoal's cool. I think Torkoal is a solid C-Tier-mon. I think he's kind of level of Politoed. On my last tier list, I had Torkoal. Did I put him in D? No way, dude. No, he was C. I stand by that. I think Torkoal is like... I'll put him by his best friend, Vileplume, and Mawile. I think he's a great Trick Room sweeper, and I think that Trick Room has gotten better for Torkoal in this current regulation. So I think Torkoal is good at playing in Trick Room, and that hasn't changed. He's a good Trick Room sweeper, but I think Trick Room is kind of like a C-tier comp, especially when you have open sheets. It's just so easy to stall. Not easy to stall, but it's doable to stall with almost any team if you're getting protects right and switches right. So I think, unfortunately for Torkoal, he just gets kind of bogged down without Terra. He really loved the Terrafire eruptions. I think Altaria is a D-tier mon. I could see an argument that it's like almost C. I really think Altaria is pretty good, especially for Perish Song. I really think it's strong. After using it myself, I loved it. The mon's got some sauce. I put Altaria in D last time. I totally did. Wait, I'm not seeing it. Where is it? I think I said it was F. I did. I think Altaria is D, though. After using it myself, big fan. I think that on Perish teams, Cloud9 is really cool. Mega Altaria, I'm going to say is D, though, or F. I don't think Mega Altaria is worth using, unfortunately. I'm going to get rid of all these cast forms right now. They're not worth using. No offense. Milotic. How do we feel about Milotic? I think Milotic is like a C-tier Pokemon for sure. Intimidates everywhere. I mean, it's kind of high up there. Its usage on that sand team has really kind of pushed it back into the conversation of a Pokemon. I think the Coil Hypnosis stuff is really great, but just having the Icy Wind Bulky Water on a sand team is just a godsend, and Milotic does that role really, really well. I think Milotic's strong. I really do. I think Milotic's in a really good spot right now. C-tier feels about right, where it's like these Pokemon are pretty good, but they're not really splashable, right? Like, Milotic has one team that it's really good on, and it is very, very good on that team, but you're not putting on a ton of teams. But I do think it has a lot of depth to it. We see it on the Ceruledge stuff as well. Milotic could find a team for Worlds and just pop off. Wouldn't be surprised. Regular Bayonet sucks. Mega Bayonet, it's kind of D. It's like with the other Megas. Like, it has that gimmicky Trick Room setup shenanigans it can do, which is fine. It's not like super amazing at it, but like Destiny Bond's scary. It has priority rain dances, priority encores, and it does decent damage. So it's an okay Trick Room setter, but it's like, dude, do you want to use your Trick Room setter? You want it to be your Mega? Not really. And that's kind of the problem with Bayonet, and also the problem with Chimecho, who I think just kind of sucks. I've never seen a good team with Mega Chimecho yet. I just don't think he has the sauce. I think he needs something like Ursaluna. I think if Ursaluna comes back in the game, he seems like the perfect partner to set up Trick Room for it. But then again, like I said, it's like, do you want your Mega to set up Trick Room? Probably not. So I don't know. I think he might remain in F, but I do think Ursaluna gives him a little bit of hope. Absol. He sucks. He really does. Both him and Mega Absol are just not very good. I got nothing. I got nothing on this guy. I don't even want to waste my breath talking about Mega Glalie, but yeah, Mega Glalie and Glalie are not good either. I think regular Metagross is actually like I don't think it's F tier, but like the thing is you should always have the Mega Stone on it. You can totally bring it in situations where it has no item and it's fine, but I think that you have the Mega Stone on it 10 times out of 10. Mega Metagross. I think we had him in A last time. We did. We had him very high in A. I think Metagross is definitely B. He kind of hangs out with Swampert and Blaziken as like, hey, these are some rogue Mega picks that you can use that are strong, but they're not meta defining, right? Like Metagross has good matchups, and I think that Mega Metagross usage might start to go up a little bit. I think Staraptor has just really shown itself as a really strong pick, and I kind of expect Metagross to maybe rise as an answer to it. We'll have to see. I might be wrong, but Metagross just makes a lot of sense, right? Psychic Fangs, it has Clear Body, so it blocks that Intimidate if you both lead your Mega. It can be very clunky to switch the Staraptor in, so I think just as a Pokemon to lead into Staraptor, he's really good. So I'm going to put him in B right now. I think he's probably better than Aerodactyl, but he's kind of like in the Tyranitar range where it's like, I think Swampert's better than Aerodactyl too. Where it's like, hey, this Pokemon is good, but it's on niche teams. And I think Metagross is cool. I can't tell you right now what the great Metagross team is. I don't think there is one currently in the metagame, but we'll see. I think he's going to start to pick up some usage though. Torterra, ass, I'm sorry. Infernape is so garbage. And then Empoleon, he has competitive. That makes him a D tier Pokemon, in my opinion. Just that alone, he has some viability. Staraptor. Regular Staraptor's garbage, don't you? Well, actually, no, that's not even true. Staraptor is actually a C tier Mon. Like, we'll talk about regular Staraptor. Final Gambit with Trick Room is good. Final Gambit in general is just kind of solid. I think Staraptor in a closed team sheet environment too has a lot more sauce to it, right? Like just not knowing what it's going to do is very scary. You know, like especially if the team fakes it to be like a Trick Room team and then you're like, oh, it's going to Final Gambit and then it just Mega Evolves. It's one of the worst feelings in the entire world. So yeah, I think Staraptor is a C tier Mon though. I think it sets up Trick Room really well. Final Gambit with Fergraph is very good. Mega Staraptor, the talk of the town right now. I think Mega Staraptor is an A tier Pokemon. I think it's about as strong as Raichu and Blastoise. It probably is stronger than both of them, to be honest. But I think all three of them, and we'll talk about Staraptor mostly here, they have really, really good concrete spots in the metagame. I think Staraptor is just being explored more and more. It has a lot of depth. It can synergize with so much, right? Like fighting flying is pretty good coverage. You definitely need a steel type. But outside of that, it really can be on any team. It can be a supportive Mega with Tailwind, which I think is very, very valuable and very good. But it also can be the single carry of your team as well. If you're just spamming Tickle, Charm, Fake Tears, Parting Shot onto your own Staraptor to enable it, you have that option as well. Also, Intimidate before you Mega Evolve is incredible ability, and then also Contrary when you evolve is also incredible. I think the Mon is just good, but there are some big threats to it, right? Like dealing with Metagross, dealing with Floette can be kind of annoying. But I think the Staraptor teams are seeing paired with Goldengo, paired with Excadrill, specifically the Sand team, look really, really good. But then we also saw another Staraptor team that had Glamora and Delphox on it, right? I think it's very flexible as a double Mega, and I think it's just a good Mon right now. I'm curious to see where Staraptor is going to go. But yeah, I think it's definitely an A tier pick. I think it's about as strong as them. I think it's stronger than them. So yeah, I'm big on Staraptor right now. Luxray, I'm not very big on. Roserade, not very big on. Rampardos, F. Bastiodon, F. Lopunny, F. Lopunny Mega is like a little bit better. I think it's like Kangaskhan, Canerupt, Gyarados level where it's like, hey, this thing's annoying. Like when you play that thing on ladder, the threat of Encore and Giga Impact and CC, it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle, especially with Encore. It makes it into a demon. It can enable stuff like King Gambit. It's about as good as Mega Gyarados, though. I don't think it's a super, super potent good Mega, but you can use it for sure. Spiritomb. Unplayable. F.
this guy, I still think, is the king of the format. The thing about Garchomp, in my humble opinion, is that Garchomp, when there are no other ground types, or like when it's a closed, like smaller format, smaller dex format, he traditionally has been the king of said format. And this format is like his playground, right? He's good into everything. He got buffed in Regulation MB. He beats one of the best Pokemon in the game. He doesn't wall Charizard, but he puts pressure on with Rock Slide, and the worst thing they can do to you is Solar Beam, which is a 2-hit KO. So, in theory, in a 1v1, he will always beat Charizard, right? Like, always. You don't even have to risk Rock Slide. You can Dragon Claw if you're Life Orb. Life Orb has just been a godsend to him, and it's just made him better. But at the same time, the stupid part about Garchomp is his other items haven't gotten worse. Citrus Berry is still good. It's actually very good in the mirror into the Life Orb Garchomps. Scarf is fine. It's still showing really, really good success. It's still a strong item and a strong pick. He's just good, man. He's just so good. I have no complaints about Garchomp. I think he is my number one, I think, right now. Mega Garchomp, I think I've played with it now. I have a lot more experience with these Pokemon as I've made more videos, but I think Mega Garchomp is probably D. I think he's kind of funny. I mean, we actually saw him start to do something. I think maybe he's like actually bottom of C. He like top cut a tournament like recently online, which is kind of crazy with that crazy Garchomp team. So I think he's okay. He's kind of funny. He's very bulky. I think Lucario is kind of like Staraptor, but like worse. I personally prefer Staraptor. I'm going to put him in D when it comes to final gambiting. And then Mega Lucario just is like, I don't want to say it's like F tier because like I think it has some unique things that it does. But I do think it's kind of outclassed by the other Steel Mega, most notably Metagross. So I'm not a big believer. Hippowdon is a singles Pokemon, but is also F tier. Toxicroak is absolutely terrible. Abomasnow I would say is F, because I think Mega Abomasnow is how you should be using it. You should not be using regular Abomasnow. You should use Mega. And I think Mega is like, I think it's somewhat okay. I think he's really difficult to build around and to utilize, but I think he is okay. And I think he's a D tier. That's not saying too much, but he is D. Weavile is kind of annoying. I think Weavile is always kind of a C. It's kind of near that bottom in like the gimmicky tier, but Weavile can go kind of hard on certain teams. It can be very annoying to deal with. It counters Garchomp, puts pressure on Charizard. It has access to Fake Out. It's a good Pokemon overall. It gets beat up too, I guess. But I think Weavile is a pretty solid mon. It's just kind of a glass cannon. It's very easy to exploit, and that's kind of why we don't see it often. Rhyperior. I've won a regional with this guy. I have a trophy with Rhyperior. I love Rhyperior. He's F tier though. I think he's terrible. Glaceon, Leafeon, also F tier. Gliscor, I'm sorry, man. This isn't singles. He's kind of F tier. I think he, like, I will say that he's like probably D a little bit. He has Hyper Cutter. He gets Swords Dance. He gets Tailwind, I think. I don't know if he actually gets Tailwind. But he's not terrible. But no Toxicroak, none of that stuff. He's F, dude. What am I saying? Get him out of here. Mamoswine. We've seen Mamoswine kind of fall off a cliff in terms of usage, but I think Mamo is still a good Pokemon. I think he's probably a C tier pick, kind of like with Staraptor. I think that he's not splashable on every team, but again, he's very good into Garchomp. He can put pressure onto Charizard because Jolly Mamoswine outspeeds them, which is pretty nuts. I think he's kind of a gimmicky. He's a little gimmicky. Like, if they know what's coming, they can play around accordingly, but like, people didn't really know it was coming, so he was kind of surprising them with stuff like Rock Tomb, but I don't know. I think Mamoswine, he's like okay. Sash is cool, but yeah. He just doesn't pack a big enough punch to even one-shot Garchomp with the Sash set, which kind of sucks, and that kind of just is like, damn. So, I think he's cool, though. Gallade is also kind of the Trick Room guy. I think he kind of fits in, like, with Canerupt, where, like, he is kind of a C-tier Pokemon, because, like, dude, when you play against Gallade, I know you're shitting your pants like I am, dude. He's scary. Sharpness does a ton of damage, right? So, I think he's okay. He's a decent Trick Room setter. He's a hard Trick Room guy. There's going to be like a hard Trick Room section. I think Gallade is one of the few Pokemon where it's like no-brainer, use that guy over the Mega, right? Like Mega Gallade is not good. Frostless regular you should never use. Mega Frostless. Oh, my queen. It hurts. I'm so sorry. So I put Frostless in A last time. I think it's a C tier mon, man. I think it's like by about Dragonite level of power. I think the Frostless Lycanroc team is still very, very potent, very, very solid. But that's it. That's kind of where the
kind of where it stops. We've seen a little bit of Frostless experimentation. We saw it used with Toxapex and Blaziken. We saw it. What else was it used with? I can't even think, dude. I can't even. It's emptying out of my mind because it's so mid. I love Frostless. I think there could be something that is created for Worlds. Don't get me wrong. I think they could come up with some sauce, but as of right now, Frostless is cooked. So after Frostless, we have Rotom. So regular Rotom you shouldn't use. Like, worst Pokemon in the game, arguably. No, not arguably. He probably has some use, but don't use regular Rotom. Rotom, he has just shown that he's just not even good, man. He's like D tier. I don't even know if he's D because I just haven't seen him, but he's good into Charizard. I just haven't seen him in so long. He just kind of fell off the face of the earth. Wash Rotom is like pretty decent. I think he's like a C tier Pokemon. He's very niche in what he accomplishes, but the thing about Rotom, where I'll give him credit, is that he is the electric type, right? Now we do have Raichu now, which I think is valid, but there just aren't electric types in the format. So I have to give him C. Like, he's just the only non-mega electric type you could be using. So he's C tier because of that. I think he's pretty solid. I think he's fine. It's just very difficult. He just doesn't have the stats. So I think you have to have a really, really strong and important purpose. Kind of like Wolf did on the Steelix team. He made Rotom look broken, but then we just haven't seen him since. But I still believe that Rotom could be a good Pokemon, and I could see maybe see it making a deep run at Worlds. I think Rotom is strong, though. It's just like, I'm not sure how you're supposed to use him and make up for his bad stats, but he's a levitating electric type. He can't be terrible, especially with stuff like I do think maybe the way to use him is like with Tyranitar, like being able to shut off the sun turns him into a Charizard wall. So that's something, but we just haven't really seen Rotom shine outside of the Wolf team. But I do think he's still like a C tier Mon. He's as good as Blaziken. He's just not great. Rotom Frost, I'm sorry, is terrible. Rotom Fan is worse. And then Rotom Mo is really bad too. I just don't think he's worth using. He's weak to Charizard. He doesn't fight Charizard back. I don't know, dude. Superior is terrible. I'm sorry. Emboar, terrible. Mega Emboar, terrible as well. I'm sorry. There's just so many. Samurott, you should never use. Hisuian Samurott is D. I like Hisuian Samurott. He's a dark type. He puts pressure on a Basculin Legion. He can set up the spikes. He's very cool, but he's D tier. He's just not very good. Normally, I would put Watchog straight to F tier, but he got top 8 in the tournament. For that alone, shout out to you, Watchog guy. You get D tier. Watchog, I mean, it was very cool what it was doing, right? It had low kick, it had ice punch, it counters 2 of the best Pokemon in the game. It's neat. I gotta give credit to it. It's a cool set. Even if it's on one team, that makes me move it up to D, in my opinion. Like, it did well in a tournament. Liepard is a sneaky little Mon, but I don't know what it can really do in this format. I think like a true Liepard head would know, but that's not me. Simisage is terrible. Pansear is worse. Simipour is the best of them all, but still not very good. Musharna is a dog shit Trick Room setter. I'm going to skip Excadrill. I'm about to come back to him, but I think Mega Excadrill is truly terrible because regular Excadrill is a very solid B tier Pokemon. He's kind of just next to his buddy Tyranitar, which I think where we put him last time. Did we say Excadrill's A? No, we put Excadrill in C last time. Wow. I think he's a B tier Pokemon right now. I think his ability to match up pretty decently. I think the Sand team is kind of inflating my view of the Pokemon on the Sand team, but at the same time, I think Excadrill does have the sauce, right? He's fast in Sand. I don't think the Sand team's going to go away. I think the Sand team's going to show up at Worlds. I think he puts a lot of pressure on key Pokemon like Floette. I think he's a great partner for Staraptor specifically, and if I think Staraptor's good, then I gotta say I think Excadrill's good. So I like the Sash set. I think Sash is infinitely better than any other item, and so that's why the Mega one is so bad. But Tyranitar and Excadrill, you guys are best friends. You're gonna be B-buddies together. Audino. Audino's terrible. So is Mega Audino. Conkeldurr. One of my boys again. I have a lot of boys on this list, but he's gonna be F tier. I think he's bad. Scolipede is terrible. Mega Scolipede. I saw Moxie boosted and Blake Falls use it in a YouTube video, and it's as good as Abomasnow. I'll give credit where it's due. Whimsicott. Ooh, Whimsicott. I think Whimsicott is an easy S tier pick. Whimsicott is so good at setting up Tailwind. It is the GOAT of setting up Tailwind. I think Whimsicott has just slowly started, like, since they changed dynamic speed, right? That was a insane buff to specifically him. right? He is the one who is so good with dynamic speed, and that hasn't changed, and that won't change. I think because of the dynamic speed change, like Whimsicott might just elevate to like he might just become the Mount Rushmore of VGC. He might become one of the greatest Pokemon to ever be used, right? Because he had dubs prior to this. He's been good before. But with the changes to dynamic speed, he is one of the best Pokemon in the game, and he will continue to be one of the best Pokemon in the game. I'm going to say he's a little worse than Charizard and Garchomp. I think Garchomp's my 1, Charizard's my 2, but Whimsicott at the moment is my 3. I think it's worse than both of them because they're so flexible, but Whimsicott can enable Staraptor, it can enable Charizard, it can enable Metagross. It could enable Swampert, dude. It doesn't matter what it enables. It sets up Tailwind, and Encore in this current metagame is so good. So, Whimsicott is broken. Super, super incredible Pokemon. Crocodile. He's bad. Scrafty, don't use him. Mega Scrafty. I think Mega Scrafty kind of, to me, he's fallen off a bit. I think he's cool, though. I think he's definitely around this range. Like, the kind of bad Megas, but they're not, like, really bad. They're, like, kind of cool, and I could see them, like, top cutting a tournament. But Scrafty's kind of cool. He's kind of weird, though. He's a very, very good Trick Room sweeper and help to set it up. He's a Trick Room enabler. I think he's got a lot going for him, but I do think it can be very hard with all the fairies that do run around and do exist. Cofagrigus. Nah, he's F, dude. He's F. Garbodor's F. Zoroark is F. And then Mega, or not Mega, Mega Zoroark. Hisuian Zoroark is a solid C. Well, I feel like he's gotten worse, but he was kind of a demon, and he always will be, but I think he's probably D tier now. I think there's just not a lot of teams running around with him. He just hasn't really seen a lot of show lately. I don't know. Zoroark's a weird Pokemon. He can be very, very deceptive. He can be very annoying to deal with, very hard to deal with. But I think that he just hasn't really shown in Pokemon Champions. Reuniclus, I'm sorry, dude. You're terrible. I love Reuniclus as well. He's another one of my boys. Vanillix, I would say Vanillix is D at the very least. Changing the weather's neat. He has Freeze Dry. Scarf Vanillix is kind of cool. He can beat Garchomp. Like, I think he's a D tier Pokemon. Weather. Emolga's F. Electros is F. I think that the Mega Electros is a solid D, like with the other silly gimmicky Megas. It's kind of like the gimmicky Mega section, and he is like probably the king of it. His ability is cool. He just doesn't have enough stats, right? I think what kills Mega Electros is that they put all of his, because when a Pokemon Mega evolves, they get 100 extra stats. And if they would have put that into one of his attacks, I think we could have seen some use, right? But they decided to split it between both, so he just has a bunch of wasted Mega stats, and it kind of ruins him as a Mega. His ability's sick. I think it's really cool. I think if they just said, hey, he's a physical attacking Mega, he would be way better than if he's the mixed, right? It's just not good. You never want to be a mixed Pokemon, ever. Like in VGC, you don't want to be. You want to specialize in one thing. There's very few Pokemon that have succeeded as mixed. Salamence is like the one that comes to mind, and I'm sure there's a couple others, but not many. Chandelure, I think Chandelure is like D. It's like a funny Trick Room setter. It always freaks me out. It also has Flash Fire, so I think that makes it good into Charizard. Mega Chandelure actually sucks though. Baratic's bad. Let's be real. He's an F tier Pokemon. Same with Stunfisk. Same with Galarian Stunfisk. Golurk is F, and then Mega Golurk is probably D. I played against it a little bit. He has a funny ability in Trick Room, but I think he's D. I think you're better off using like Canerupt or something, or Mawile, but he's D. He can do something. I don't know how to feel about Hydreigon. I really don't know how to feel about this Pokemon. On one hand, I think he's very good. On the other hand, I think he sucks sometimes. I think he's like I'm going to consult my old list. I think we had him in C. I think he's probably in C again. I think he's starting to climb up in terms of his viability, though. I think I've seen a couple teams with him on it, and I think he's kind of neat on Sun right now, specifically like the Toxapex stuff. The Toxapex Hydreigon combo is just so good, right? Being able to trap in with Infestation, he comes in and kills something. The dark coverage is also just really appreciated by the team because it can threaten stuff like Delphox, which is valuable. But I don't know. I think that I think he's a C tier mon still, but I think he's good. Like, again, the C tier Pokemon are always like, these guys could win a tournament. They could do very well. They could win Worlds, but it would have to be on the right specific team, where these guys are a little bit more splashable. or a little bit stronger. Because like Swampert isn't very splashable, but I think he's like stronger than Hydreigon. I think like Swampert teams, you could make a Swampert Rain. I'm sure a Swampert Rain team will cut Worlds, and there'll probably be one. Let's see, Volcarona. I would have said F, dude. I wonder if we had Volcarona on the last team list, because Volcarona is kind of a tricky mon. We said it was D. I'm gonna put it in D again. I think that it just still hasn't really shown us what it can do. It was kind of neat on that one Raichu X team. I thought Volcarona was very strong there, but I don't know, dude. I'm not a huge fan of Volcarona. I think that not being like it's unfortunately caught in the same crosshairs as Charizard. So a lot of the Pokemon that want to kill Charizard can kill Volcarona with the Rock move, and that just sucks. And that just holds it back. Like Quiver Dance Rock Volcarona isn't super real because of that. You'd have to run something like Chardy Berry, which is crazy, but you could. Chestnut is terrible, so is Mega Chestnut. Delphox is terrible. These are all three of them are in F tier, if you guys don't have the video open. Shout out to you, though, for listening. Mega Delphox. I think Mega Delphox is an easy slam in the A tier. I think Mega Delphox is really good. I think, like, Blastoise is, like, he's, like, okay, he's solid. But Delphox continuously shows itself as being very strong, whether it's with Blastoise, Floette, or even Staraptor, the new Star Fox combo that we featured in yesterday's video. I think that they're just a really, really good pair, and I think Delphox is really strong right now. It's the premier nasty plot like Sweeper, but we saw even another set now on this new Staraptor Delphox team that they were running just Substitute or Encore, so I think it has a lot of depth. It can be fit on a lot of teams. It's just a really strong, good Mega, right? The cool thing about Delphox is it matches up pretty positively into Charizard. You can take Heat Waves well and fire back, so I think it's kind of a neat damage trade that you can do with those two, and that makes it pretty viable. It can answer Charizard. Greninja's terrible. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what it does. It's bad. I think it's cool with Blizzard spam, but I don't think you get to really pull it off. Diggersby is F tier as well. Talonflame. I think he's a solid B. I think he's a B. I think he's pretty strong. He's annoying. He has priority Tailwind, though, right? And he has priority Tailwind, but he can contest Whimsicott, which I think is valuable, right? Like, he can one-shot Whimsicott with Gale Wings. Gale Wings plus Dual Wing Beat, which is cool. He's also able to, importantly, match Tailwind and then fire back with the priority, like Gale Wings, right? Potentially. So, I think he's good. He's very good on hyper offense teams. I think he's definitely a B-tier Pokemon. He's got priority Tailwind. Viv. I think Viv is actually really good. It's kind of like in the C tier where it's like definitely a strong Pokemon. It's really obnoxious. It kind of functions similarly to Venusaur because it's just pressing Sleep Powder, but this one is way more accurate with Sleep Powder, which makes it very scary. There's no safety goggles. There's no Lumberries being thrown around too much. And also, if they are a grass type, it does get access to Hurricane. So I think this Pokemon has a lot going for it. It has Redirection. It has Tailwind. You can run Scarf. It's just a good Pokemon. I don't really want to put it in B, but I think it's very good. Near the top of C for sure. Probably worse than T-Tar, though. I think T-Tar's a little better. Actually, non-Mega T-Tar, yeah. I think it's good. I think Vivillon are really strong. Pyroar, man. Regular Pyroar do not use. Mega Pyroar, I think, is C. I think it's kind of near the bottom. It's like that gimmicky, like, unfortunately, it's like Kangaskhan level now. It was really cool at the beginning, but I think that as time has went on, we've just kind of seen Pyroar get worse and worse. People are just better at answering it. It's still, like, pretty solid. But yeah, I think it's a little way too one-dimensional, but it's fun. It's a cool mon. Do not use the regular Floette. Obviously, in certain matchups you can, but Mega Floette, I think Mega Floette has gotten worse, but I still think it's incredible. I think Mega Floette is still good. I'm going to say we had it in S tier last time. Our S tier last time was just Big 6. But I do think Floette's gotten a little bit worse. A lot of people aren't using it. People are using Staraptor instead. People are using Blastoise over it. I still think it's a good Pokemon. Do not get me wrong. I think Floette is incredible. But I think it's just gotten a little bit worse and worse, that it just doesn't seem super worth using. It's still worth using, but it's going to need some reinvention. It's going to need something to push it over the edge. It's still very strong on Big 6. I still think it's a great Pokemon, but I'm going to say that it's in A tier now. I'll say it's at the top A, though. I still think it's a great Pokemon, super scary to deal with. Florges, don't use that Pokemon. Pangoro, do not use that Pokemon, F tier. Furfuru, F. Meowstic, F. F for Meowstic female. Meowstic male and Meowstic female are both F. Mega Meowstic is F. Aegislash, dude, he's like, I almost think he's F. I'm going to put him in D because I love my boy Aegislash, but
he has not been showing up at all, man. It's just hard with Charizard. He had some usage there going on when he was good in a Floette, but he's looking rough, man. He's looking real rough lately, which sucks. Aromatisse is F. Slurpuff is F. Malamar, low-key D. I think it's a fun Trick Room setter, especially with me out with the Mousehold. For some reason they click really, really well. Mega Malamar is F. I think you can use it to psych up. Like, I'll put it with the other megas. It's like a psych up mega with the minimized BS, but that's kind of where it goes. Barbicle, F tier. Mega Barbicle. See, the issue with Mega Barbicle is he's kind of like Blastoise. He gets Shell Smash. He can do actual nuclear bomb levels of damage. The issue is it's all single target for the most part. He does have Rock Slide, but like the Shell Smash Rock Slide ain't doing a ton, so I don't know. I think he's D though. I think he's got something going on there. I think you could use him. Dragalge is F tier. Mega Dragalge is kind of also just like in the D tier with the other guys. Mega Dragalge is kind of neat. It matches up very well into Charizard, very well into like Rain. Very bulky Pokemon, but it just is so slow and it just doesn't do enough damage for, in my opinion. It needed something else. I don't know what it needed. It needed like Regenerator and Adaptability or something ridiculous. Like it needed like some 2-ability thing to make it viable, but yeah, it's not very good. Clawitzer, F. Heliolisk, F. I'm sorry, dude. He was a little bit cooler earlier on. Tyrantrum, F. Aurora's, F. Sylveon. I like Sylveon a lot. I think Sylveon is A tier for sure. Sylveon is like one of the only good fairies like that isn't a mega, like outside of Whims, right? Those are like the two. But Whimsicott isn't like an active fairy type, right? Like he's not dealing like, whoa, look at that Moonblast damage, right? Sylveon is doing a lot of damage. In my opinion, if Sylveon has not changed, I think it's an incredible Pokemon. I think it pairs well with Whims. I think sometimes it's better than Floette on certain teams. So I really, really like Sylveon. I think it's a great pick right now. It's very simple at what it does, and it's very, very splashable. Big Sylveon fan. I'm going to move Blastoise down personally, but I like Sylveon. Next up is Hawlucha. Hawlucha is terrible. He's F tier. So is Mega Hawlucha. Dedenne is also F tier. Goodra is F tier. Hisuian Goodra is F tier. Klefki is F2. Let's be real. You should just use a different screen setter. The typing is cool. It does... Okay, I'm going to put it in D. I'm sorry. It's going to be in D. Trevenant is F tier. So is Gourgeist. Avalugg. Hisuian Avalugg, F tier. Noivern, F tier. Decidueye, F tier. Hisuian Decidueye is going to be D, though. I think he's kind of cool. His signature move does like 8 different things. It like flinches, crits, and lowers defense. It's fucking crazy. But he's kind of cool. He's a cool guy. I don't think he's very good, though. But he's got a lot going for him. Scrappy's cool. He's just not very good. But like, if I'm going to put Samurott there, I'm going to put him there. Incineroar. Incineroar is S tier, man. He wasn't S tier last time, but I changed my mind. I think Incineroar... Oh, there you go. You can see him now. I think Incineroar is one of the GOATs of this game. Hands down, obviously. And I think, as time goes on, he's just gotten better and better and better. He's such a good Pokemon. Fake Out, Parting Shot, Flare Blitz, Knockoff. He's a Fire type. He's a Dark type. You've probably heard it 1,000 times of why Incineroar is one of the greatest of all times. And that still has yet to change. Incineroar is just so goated, he can enable any setup strategy that is currently going on, whether it's Blastoise, whether it's Delphox, whether it's Floette, but he also offensively is just very good. You can pair him with Charizard. You can pair him with anything. You can pair him in rain, you can pair him in sun, you can pair him in sand. He's just damn good. Very splashable. I think he's finally achieved S tier. I think this is the first time we've given him S tier in Champions, but I think we were just wrong before. Primarina. I think Primarina is a good Pokemon. I think Primarina is in C. I like Primarina. Primarina is cool. It's a fairy type and it's a water type. It puts on a lot of damage. I think Primarina is a great mon. We had it in C last time. We actually had it in D. I think it's C. I think it's C. I'm giving it C. Rugov's not here to ruin my Primarina. Toucanon. I don't know what Toucanon does. I know there's some sort of Toucanon team out there. In respect for the Toucanon guys, I'll put you in D. Crab is bad. Crabominable, the Mega, I'll put with the other Trick Room guy. He's kind of like Golurk. He's fallen off quite a bit, though. I think you're better off using Mawile, using Kangaskhan, or even Blastoise. But I think he's still a D tier Mega. He's kind of scary. He can be. Lycanroc, Dusk, and
I think this is like midday form and dusk are bad. This is like Lycanroc Dawn, I believe. It's the only one I'm missing in Pokemon Go. I think he's actually kind of C tier. I'm going to put Primarina way down, further down though. I think he's like a C tier mon. I think his ability to kill Charizard is awesome. And that alone is going to give you credibility on my tier list. And I think that on that Frostlass team, he really shines. And I think that there could be other teams that could be enabled by Lycanroc as well. He is just a one-stop shop to slay Charizard. Excel Rock kills in Tailwind, it kills in Trick Room as long as there's no Furgraph. He is a Charizard hunter. And I think with the lack of Lycanrocs going around, it's kind of nice. You can just run Adamant again. So I think he's very, very good. Very potent pick right now. Just good on that Frostlass team. So I think he's a C tier mon, surprisingly. Okay, Toxapex, where did we have you last time? I'm going to put you in B right now, but I'm going to go find Toxapex. Because I don't think we ranked Toxapex very highly. Again, we said it was a C tier Pokemon. So, if you guys don't know, I think Toxapex is incredible. Toxapex to me is an A tier Pokemon. I think Toxapex, on Toxapex Sun, it is just so potent. I expect to see several in cut at Worlds. I think Toxapex is very strong. Maybe not several, maybe like 2. I think Toxapex is really good right now. That Toxapex team with Charizard. Like, the thing about Toxapex is you just really need, personally, you don't even need Incin. I've always preferred to have Incin with Toxapex. But if you have, like, Charizard, Toxapex, I think that's it. Like, if you have those 2 Pokemon, it just works. I've seen people put Toxapex on Big 6 over Floette. Toxapex is such a strong, potent Pokemon. It can trap Pokemon in. It can Toxic stall them. It can just completely stall a game. It is the best defensive switch that a player could ask for. I think Toxapex is simply incredible. It's one of my favorite Pokemon in the entire format. It's so fun to play. Call me cringe in the comments. I don't care. I am a Toxapex stan, and I am proud of it. I think Toxapex is A tier. I think it's an incredible pick. We've seen it with other Megas too, like Frostlass. So I think Toxapex is going to make a splash at Worlds. I think it's going to do well. Mudsdale is not going to do well, F tier. Araquanid, F tier as well. Salazzle, F. Serena is neat. I'm going to give it D because it is low-key annoying, right? Like, it's a little bit annoying when it blocks your priority. Goodness, Sucker Punch guy. Oranguru. Dude, I don't want to put him in D, but he's kind of D. He's as good as Slowking, let's be real with ourselves. Passimian, bad. Mimikyu, I'm going to say D, but it's really not good. It's kind of like a Sui and Decidueye. Like, it's neat. It has cool typing, it has cool utility, but not very good. Drampa's bad. Well, regular Drampa is probably as good as Mega Drampa, and I think they're both D tier. I think they're cool Trick Room sweepers, but the thing is like Cloud9 makes Drampa like way cooler. Oh, I put him in F. I think Cloud9 makes regular Drampa cooler and better, but I'm gonna put them both in D. They're D tier brothers. Como-o. I really like Como-o. I think Como-o is like a B tier pick right now. Como-o, like specifically in this meta right now, is looking so saucy, right? I think Como-o is great. He's good in Arcaludon. He's good in Charizard. He can stop Sleep Powder with Overcoat. Soundproof is an amazing ability because it makes him wall Sylveon, one of his biggest threats. Like, they have to throw like a Hyper Beam your way, which it doesn't wall it, but at the same time, being immune to Hyper Voice is an amazing thing. His coverage is super good into Garchomp, into Charizard, into Incin. Fighting types are just so needed. I think he's B tier right now. I think Como is looking so sexy, and he is just looking nuts. So, big Como fan. I've been using him a lot on the channel. Just like, he's just been featured more and more. We've seen a Vacuum Wave set pick up steam. Like, Life Orb Como is just kind of good. So, I think he's just in a good spot. Let a man love Como. Corviknight. I think he's okay. I think he's like C. He's cool. He's good into the fairies. He's like an okay steel fairy type. He's good with Tyranitar. But that's kind of it. He's kind of one-dimensional, but I still think Corviknight's a good Pokemon again. Like, he's one of those guys that could win a tournament. It's just that it's got to be the right team. Flapple, bad. Appleton, bad. I'm really kind of surprised that I know all these guys' names. I'm not going to lie. Sandaconda, bad. Polter, Sinistea, bad. Hatterene, low-key bad. Hatterene is just not. I'm going to put Hatterene in F. No one's using that guy. I'm going to skip Grimmsnarl for a sec. I want to do Mr. Rhyme. He's terrible. So is Runegregas. And so is Alcremie. And so is Phalanx and Phalanx Mega and Morpeko. Let's do Grimmsnarl. I just want to do a little rapid fire because they were all pretty bad. I think Grimmsnarl he's B. I put Grimmsnarl in A last time, but that was at the beginning of the format. I think he's still very good. I think Grimmsnarl is a fantastic Pokemon. He's in a fantastic spot. It's just that he kind of just seems like he's mostly on rain teams, and that's great for him. But the rain teams are not as potent as they once were, so I think that I want to move him down a tier. He's still good at setting up those screens. He's good at setting up that parting shot to bring in your rain abuser. He's still a great Pokemon. Just he's kind of B instead of A. Dragapult. I think Dragapult is bad, actually. I think he's kind of neat. I'm going to put him in D because I love him, but D for Dragapult. But I don't think he's very good. Whiteear. I heard he's really broken with Milotic, but I'm going to put him in F. Cleavor. I love Cleavor. I think he's so cool, but I think he's like a D tier mon. He's like kind of good into like Charizard, but that's kind of where it ends, right? I don't think he's very good outside of that. So he's kind of just trapped in D where it's like, yeah, he's useful and he does something, but he's one-dimensional. And like, I think sometimes the Charizard teams can outplay it really easily. Basculegion is a solid S tier mon. He seems like he's getting worse and worse by the day. Last time we said he was the best guy. My opinion has shifted a lot. I think he's very good. I think I love Basculegion. He's one of the best dudes. I kind of want to leave him where he is. Call me crazy, but it just feels like he's getting worse and worse. We're just seeing him on less and less teams. People are getting much more used to playing around him and just kind of neutering him and shutting him down. I think regulation in B has just been worse for him. It's not the Basculegion format. He's still great, dude. He still could win worlds, but I'm gonna say he's bottom of S. As crazy as that seems, dude. It seems like I'm crazy for that. Female Basculegion is like, it's kind of funny. Like if you actually do get it and you don't have the male one, if you roll it in your ranch, you should totally take it and just build it physical with last respects. But I think it's like a D tier mon. It's kind of funny. It's shiny. It's yellow. Sneasler is definitely still A. I think Sneasler is still an A tier mon, but it's just kind of getting worse and worse. I think it's still good. Like there's no way that Sneasler's bad, but it is really just kind of pigeonholed onto those setup teams. So I think that I would like to keep Sneasler in A, but just move it down a bit. I think it can enable those setup guys. Quick Guard's cool, but the days of White Herb Sneasler are over because it gets one shot by Life Orb EQ. So you're just seeing a lot more Sash Sneasler, which I think just makes it worse. I think that when it was White Herb Sneasler, it was a demon, right? It could get away with murder. But now it kind of has to play respectable and just be max speed, max attack, Sash. And I think that's really hurt its viability on a lot of teams because it is just more about setting something up and not just being an annoying damage trader like it used to be. So I'm sorry, Sneasler. Overquill, he's the minimized guy, so he goes in D. Miascarada is also D. I don't think it's very good, but it's got a really high speed and it's annoying. I'm sorry, Skeledirge. I love you, but F tier. Same with Quavel. Mousehold, I think, is B. Last time we were a little high on Mousehold, I think. No, we said Mousehold was B last time, and that opinion has not changed. I think Mousehold is a B tier Pokemon. It's pretty good at enabling what it enables. I think Pop Bomb Mousehold like might be slept on, but also the utility of support Mousehold is just fire, and we see it support stuff like Blastoise and Delphox as it is. So I think Mousehold is still a good Pokemon, but he's kind of just currently sitting on those types of teams. Garganacl sucks. They nerfed you. I'm sorry. Armarouge is like D. He has Flash Fire, so he beats Charizard. He's cool. Ceruledge is also like, I think Ceruledge has gotten so much worse. I would have said easy C last time, like, but now I'm like starting to think it's just worse and worse. It's better than these guys though. Let's be so for real. It's probably about Lycanroc Torkoal area where it's like, it's pretty solid. It's good at countering Charizard, but the Ceruledge teams have just looked worse and worse, especially with the introduction of the Rain team. I just think it's funny that the Rain Charizard team just like takes Ceruledge and says, yeah, you don't get a counter Charizard anymore. He has a Water Weather Ball. So I think that part is really cool, and that just makes Ceruledge even worse. Just kind of a goofy little side note. Bellybolt sucks, unfortunately. Scovillain is not good. Either. You shouldn't use regular Scovillain. Houndstone is, I don't know why this guy's in between Mega Scovillain, but we'll talk about him. I think Houndstone's C. He has last respects. He's very fast. He's kind of a cool sand guy, but he kind of was flavor of the month. I think he's fallen off quite a bit, but he's neat. I think we could see. I think he's D. I changed my mind. He's so D. He's not bad, though. He's really not a bad Pokemon. A lot of the D Pokemon are good, but you just have to have the perfect team for them, and I think that's Houndstone. Mega Scovillain. Dude, I think very low of this guy. I think he's like C now. I think he's fallen off a cliff, dude. He was looking like king of the format. He was looking like he would always be viable, always a great support. But now he's washed, man. He's washed. He's washed. He's a washed Pokemon. I'm sorry, Scovillain. I had him in B last time. You're in C now, you loser. C for I hate you. A Spothra also really fallen off a cliff. I think it's a D tier Pokemon. We haven't seen really anything with it. Tinkaton? Yeah, Tinkaton also very D. It was cool with Perish Gengar, but like, I think that we're seeing more of that Swampert stuff, and I think Perish just continues to just get weaker and weaker. Palafin. I don't want to do this. It really hurts. He's F tier. He's so F tier. Earthworm is F tier. Okay, now we got some spicy picks at the end here for fun. Glamora. I think regular Glamora with Sash is definitely C. It's very, very potent, very good into Charizard. Very good. And I think Mega Glamora too. There's a Mega Glamora team going around right now that looks pretty good. And I think it is pretty strong. I think Mega Glamora is kind of neat. I think they're both kind of C tier Pokemon. I think regular Glamora with the Sash is like, hey, I'm a Charizard answer. I set up the spikes. But Mega Glamora is kind of like with the Froslass Mega, where it's like, hey, you can build a team around this. And it can do a lot of work into Charizard specifically. And I think Charizard and Floette, like Big Six hates to see this guy come in. So I think Mega Glamora is in a pretty solid spot right now. There's a team that's currently being used with Mega Charizard and Mega Glamora that I think is really good with Whimsicott. So I think Glamora C, it could start to rise up if that team just continues to do better. Annihilape, I really underestimated your game. I think you're still a B tier Pokemon. I think Annihilape is really solid. He's very good into Delphox stuff, specifically with Phantom Force. He has awesome speed. Defiant is a great ability, and he hits like a truck with CC. We just were using him wrong. We just need to figure him out, and I think I did say that in the last video, and now the last tier list, and now it's just about hitting hard and just trading as best as you can, and he does that really well with the Focus Sash set that I do think is very good. I also think, like, if you use Beat Up with Ape, he does do well into some teams, surprisingly. He does go pretty nuts. But I think if they have stuff like Floette or Delphox, it can cause problems. But I don't know, dude. I think the beat up stuff is kind of annoying. But maybe that's just me. Farigiraf, my beloved. I think Farigiraf is a solid B tier mon. It's gotten a little bit worse as time has went on. I don't think it's a... I felt like when we made this list, the last list, it was at its peak and it was looking so fire. It just almost won an AIC and that team was still very popular and it was just doing very well. I think Farigiraf is still in B. I think it's near the top here. I think it's still a good Pokemon, but as time has went on, I think that it is still... It's just still the best Trick Room setter. There's no denying that, but it's gotten a little bit worse here and there. But Trick Room is also just so good into this format that Farigiraf's just good. King Gambit, easy S tier. This guy is incredible. I think he's better than Whims, dude. Yeah, surprise, dude. Better than Whimsicott. He does it all, man. At first, he had some lower usage, but that wasn't going to stop him. He's back full force. You can use him with, you can run Swords Dance, you can run Chocolate Berry, Expert Bell, Black Glasses, Life Orb. He's good with so many megas. He's good with Froslass, Charizard, Blaziken, Blastoise, Delphox, Staraptor, Floette. He's literally used with every single mega. He's just one of the best guys in the game. I'm tempted to put him over Zard. I really am. I'm gonna do it. I think he's probably more splashable and better than Zard. I am such a huge fan of King Gambit. He's absolutely nuts, and he will continue to do so. He just has it all. He's just the best steel type. He's just bulky enough to get the job done, and he's incredible. He's incredible. He's fast enough. He's slow enough. He can just be anything. He's a true Swiss Army knife. Golden Go has risen up in popularity. I think Golden Go's been doing very well. I think Golden Go is still definitely like B tier, but I've really liked him paired with Staraptor. I think we've gotten to see Golden Go shine a little bit more. He did get nerfed pretty heavily, both to Make It Rain. He got it -2s you, and it has a chance to miss, which does suck. But at the same time, he's still just shooting you down, right? He's doing insane damage with Make It Rain. He's still got Nasty Plot. Sometimes you just spam Shadow Ball a little bit more. It's just a playstyle thing, but I think Golden Go continues to just be an amazing pick in the metagame, and I don't think that will stop. You do have to be very careful with King Gambit, but Staraptor and Golden Go are just a match made in heaven, and I think we're really starting to see that right now. Yeah, B tier for sure. And then we have Sinistcha, who continues to be very good. I think Sinistcha is probably an A tier pick. Near the bottom, but I think A tier nonetheless. It's very good at enabling the setup strategies. It's also just a very good grass type. I think we're just seeing it more and more, and I think it just makes sense. I'm gonna move Venusaur down. I like Venusaur, but I think that I'm just gonna kind of group these megas together. It's probably, I mean, I think it's better than Raichu. I like that better. It's just gonna interrupt the megas, but that's about where it should be. But yeah, I think Cindy just enables everything else. It enables all the setup going around. It's like the only redirection user that's like good besides Mousehold, and it's a little bit easier to put on a team. It's also one of the only grass types that's not Venusaur, so he's a good pick. Archaludon. Well, okay, before we do Archaludon, because he's the last guy, let's put Hydrapple there. Palmont is just not in the game. I don't know why he's in the tier list, but he is. He's in the code, I think. I think Archaludon is kind of like... I think he's B. I think he's annoying. I think he's like kind of like with the other steals, but it just kind of sucks to use him because if you're using Archaludon, that means you're not using King Gambit, which does suck a little bit. But I kind of think this is where he should live. I think he's still very, very good. Obviously on Rain he can go absolutely nuts, right? Spamming those Electro Shot. Like, it's a team you have to respect, and I think that he's just continuously done pretty well. Yeah, he's just a good mon. You have to be really careful with him. You have to make sure you have the right answers to him, otherwise he can get out of hand very quickly. So I think he's there. But this is going to be our tier list. We did this one all by ourselves, which I don't think I've ever done on the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, it's definitely like the Garchomp show. He's one of the best guys. King Gambit's still obviously performing. The Big Six and friends are all very, very good still. But Big Six is just good because it's just the best 6 guys. So it makes sense to me that they're the best 6 guys on the list, you know? A-tier, Staraptor, and Delphox are starting to just show themselves as some of top tier megas, which makes sense to me. Raichu as well is very strong. A lot of the other good utility partners as well. B, even more so, is kind of where the weathers live, like sand and rain. While they're very good into Charizard, they do also have to contest Charizard. You still have to play well around them, right? Like Charizard can be brought into Tyranitar, can be brought into rain, and you can swag on people with it. So I think that makes sense. C is mostly going to be our like kind of like one-off teams where they really shine on a certain team and they're borderline broken there, but they're just not very splashable. D is just going to be like miscellaneous guys you can use, and then F is just not usable. But yeah, I think the meta is shaping up very nicely. We're starting to see a little bit of variation and change. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm excited for Worlds, but I just wanted to do this tier list a month in advance, so like a week before Worlds we can do another one and just kind of see where the things are at, because I do think a lot of things are about to change as we approach Worlds. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.